what is, I mean, you have a lot of private individuals as clients, I would suppose. And what is a common case where somebody is maybe coming to you with, and what is in return the sort of the better way of handling such a consequence?
Mhm. You know, a typical case, I would describe it in that way. A client is calling me, a client is sending me an email saying, okay, I heard of this decision of the fiscal finance court, the federal finance court in Munich from February, and that they said that taxation of cryptocurrencies is legally binding and that I probably had to declare something. And the rest of the story often is like that. People are telling me then, you know, I did this for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, whatever. And of course, yeah, I made some profit with it, but sometimes this profit was just a virtual profit. There was no cash out, you know. So from this point of view, not not just one client already told me, you know, I didn't realize that this might be taxable if I was just acting from one cryptocurrency to the other, you know. And now my impression is this should be taxable. Why? Because it's not ruled in German tax law. I say, okay, indeed, it's hard to understand that if you're not engaged in this field, and lots of German tax advisors still are not handling these cases. You know, they are saying, okay, this is something I cannot do. So even finding a tax advisor or a crypto tax lawyer is not easy in Germany till today. And on the other hand, you can imagine if you're presenting such a case to the local tax office, first of all, they're saying, okay, this was a big mistake. Yeah, this guy should have done this before, and we have to think whether we have to sue him, you know, and this is very bad. Yeah, telling them that this guy is nobody who should be sued now. He is explaining that even if it's late, but it was not self-explaining that the law didn't say a single word in regard of this special case, you know.
So basically, I have 50 different tokens. I swap them in my decentralized wallet, and the German law would require me for each transaction sort of to be that should be traced and taxed. I mean,
Yeah,
last time Jörg, we talked
yeah.
about the Austrian way of
Yeah.
dealing with tax. I mean, that was really interesting. I would love to, maybe have your opinion on exactly that.
Uh, well, you know, just coming back to this point of taxation, the taxation is not in general done the way I described it. If you are keeping this one cryptocurrency you bought for more than 12 months, then even the tax office would be of the opinion that this could not be taxed, okay? But within 1 year, and this is what happens in most of the cases, just especially when very young clients who are younger than 20, younger than 15 sometimes, you know, they are just playing in an online game. And there's an online cryptocurrency, and they are having an exchange from one cryptocurrency to the other. Of course, I mean, they do not do any sort of bookkeeping, you know. They do not do any sort of declaration. They have never had any sort of contact with the tax office. And just imagine a guy like this who started at the age of 13, he turns 18, he turns 19, he is getting in his job, and somebody is telling, okay, you have to have your income tax return, you know, every year. And by the way, he's talking to a friend of his, and this guy is telling him, crypto? Oh, did you declare about that? You know, because it was necessary. Okay, no, I never thought about that. You know, this is a typical reaction, and having such clients, from my point of view, it's absolutely important that I explain uh, uh, the guy at the tax office, at the local tax office, who is not specialized in crypto tax. I should explain to him the whole situation. You know, this is storytelling, how it all started, what happened, what happened in the brain of this young guy, not imagining that he could ever been asked to report something of these transactions.
Yeah. Okay. And so, which brings me to the question. I mean, uh, the German law is definitely still early in a way. What, in your opinion, what are other jurisdictions that sort of do it better or in an easier retail friendly way?
Well, let me put it in other words. I would say that, for example, France or Austria, they are ahead of German legislation. And for that reason, I'm in contact with colleagues in Austria, for example. So I went to Vienna this spring just to have a much more contact in this way, just to find out, okay, what are you talking about there? And my impression was that they are much ahead of Germany. Really, it was impressing somehow. And from this point of view, I think that, for example, this exchanging from one currency to the other, this is not taxed in Austria, as far as I'm informed. So I think this makes absolutely sense because who has the imagination that this is something you have to report in detail? And I mean, if we are talking about taxation, we are talking about every single transfer. We're not just talking about a cryptocurrency saying, okay, I thought I did something like this. You have to explain it in all details.